Every day we make choices, something as simple as a straw. The path of this straw starts with the sip. And ends with a terrible consequence. These small plastic straws look innocent, convenient, and even inviting to use, but there's a terrible consequence. 437 million to 8.3 billion straws polluting the world's beaches. These seemingly trivial items of pure convenience are slowly but surely polluting our oceans and killing our planet's creatures, large and small. Every day, people all over the world grab a straw from a coffee shop or restaurant. In the US alone, 500 million straws are used every day. Do we think about where they might end up after we throw them away? No, people are not aware of where their straw goes. Plastic straws make up 99% of the global drinking straw market, with paper, glass, and metal making up the other 1%. Plastic straws are not recyclable.
Plastics are part of our everyday use, quite frankly. They're in our clothes, they're in our medical, when you take capsules and stuff like that, plastics are there. They're in everything we use in society. The problem isn't that we have plastic, the problem becomes that we abuse plastic. We use single-use plastics like plastic bags, plastic bottles, straws and stuff like that. And what we do with those products is that when we're done with them, we don't tend to recycle them carefully. We don't tend to dispose of them carefully. And what ends up happening is we end up having all this excess plastic around us. And the problem with plastic is it doesn't biodegrade. What plastic does is it's called photodegrades, or photodegradation. And that's just a big word, but what it means is light makes the plastic become smaller and smaller. So it doesn't change what plastic is, it just changes what it looks like.
The straws don't biodegrade, meaning that they don't break down over time. So they end up actually making our rivers and our creeks look dirty or also trashy. And so it makes it really hard sometimes for the animals to enjoy their environment. And as I mentioned, they can actually choke on them, which can cause a lot of harm to them.
Straws, as with many small plastics, pose a threat to wildlife. Plastic straws are one of the top 5 most common items found on our shores during the international coastal cleanups. The next time you're at the beach, keep an eye out for plastic straws. So, why do animals eat plastic straws in the first place? The answer is that these tubes resemble the food that the sea creatures eat. Single-use plastic straws that get dumped in the ocean smell like food to fish like anchovies. This is due to the fact that plastic sits in the ocean and collects algae. Around 1 million birds die every year because of these man-made killers. 100,000 turtles die every year because of these deadly plastics. Christine Figner is a marine conservational biologist out of Texas A&M University that filmed a heartbreaking scene of a turtle having a plastic straw extracted from its nose.
Also is that those plastics break down in smaller pieces, and so far, at least in sea turtles, there's pretty much not a single species of sea turtles that doesn't ingest plastics, those little plastic pieces.
What can we do to help this growing problem? In 2018, California State Majority Leader Ian Calderon introduced and passed AB 1884, which prohibits a full-service restaurant from providing single-use plastic straws to consumers unless requested by the consumer.
So straws are just one of those things that nobody really gives a second thought to. And it's easy just to take a straw because it's there or use a straw because it's there. And, the point of the bill really was to help raise awareness around this issue, which it has because people now know the issue of single-use plastic items like straws and the effect that they're having on our environment. And so what I wanted to do was to do something that raised awareness, but also at the same time helped reduce the prevalence of these single-use plastic straws in our environment. And so then that's kind of how I came up with Straws Upon Request, AB 1884.
Restaurants were more than willing to follow this new law.
Yes, the law that was passed, we are very aware of it, and we've implemented, and that is to only distribute straws on request. And that's a change from what we have been doing for many, many years. So far, it's working out very well. We've saved money by not having as much waste. What would happen would be, on the table, people would get their straw automatically, and they would not use them. So we would find many, many, many straws in the garbage.
Yes, we did provide straws in every drink, including ice waters, and for our nightclubs and every cocktail as well. Drastically has changed. I think it's very rare that guests, because they're all for helping our environment as well, I say only about maybe less than 5% request a straw currently.
We've been given a responsibility, as humans and as business owners, to do the best we can for the environment. And if it benefits the environment in any shape or form, then I think we should always be on that side.
In addition to restaurants, universities are also leading the way to environmental change. On January 1st, 2019, California State University adopted a policy to ban single-use plastic straws.
Work together, and now it's up to the students. Students have to use the paper straws so that they can understand that by using paper straws, they're eliminating plastic straws, and if they're contributing to making the world a better place by not putting those single-use plastics out there. I think students overwhelmingly were very positive about it. I think students understand how important the ecology and the environment is.
We're so used to plastic all the time, but I think it's good that the university is trying to do something to help the environment and clean up a lot, because you see a lot of things about pollution, so I think it's a good thing.
We as students can be part of the change by raising awareness. Can our school district be part of the change?
So you asked if there was other choices for having a spork and napkin, basically utensils for our students to be able to eat that doesn't include a straw. I have to admit, until you brought this to our attention, we hadn't thought about that. And so it's something that my team and I will absolutely look into to see if that would be the right fit for us. I think our district would absolutely consider eliminating straws from our program, our breakfast, lunch, and snack program. If we decided to go in a specific way, for example, eliminating straws, then I think it would set a precedence here in our area. I think other districts absolutely look at larger districts to see what they're doing.
As individuals, we can make a difference. Drink from the carton. Politely decline straws when offered, unless there's a special circumstance. Reach for a reusable straw.
Everything that you're doing right now is going to matter in the future, and the awareness you're building within yourself and passing along to your friends, to your teachers, to your parents, that is what matters.
It's time to take a stand. Let this be the last straw.